Welcome back to my channel. If you didn't know this already, I'm an actor. When I was in school, I minored in theater and I've been taking acting classes on and off since then, and I wanted to talk about the roles that I hope to play one day because I can see it so vividly. Number one that I want to talk about is this series right here. I've only read book one as of right now, but this is my off-campus. Like, I need them to adapt this into a TV show, and I need to play. I've only like read this book, but I feel like I could be like a good Outer and Celeste. Like, I feel like those roles just call to me. Don't get me wrong, love Naomi in the first book, but I feel like that's just like, I don't fit that character looks wise. I think it'd be really cool to have like a little off-campus but make it black. I genuinely love Deanna Gray books. I have Outdrawn on my shelf as well. I love her as an author, and I would love to be able to portray one of her characters in a TV show or movie. Ooh, this one came across my For You page the other day, and I was like, wait, I would love to do that, but like, I've always thought this, like, even when I was younger, but a vampire, a black vampire to be specific. I saw like this TikTok with a bunch of mock-ups of like how like a historical like fantasy like type of show would go with black vampires. Ooh, would that eat? Oh my god, I would love to do something like that. I don't know, something about vampires. The fangs is what gets me. I think vampires are sexy. Sue me, sue the fuck out of me, but I think they're hot, and I would love to play a vampire. Ooh, especially in like something like based in like history and mythology. Like, I really do like shows like that, so I think I would like playing a vampire. This is a big one that like low-key I've been soft launching. Like, I need this to happen, but I want to play Storm in like a Marvel adaptation. Like, I don't know. I know it's been done before, but we're in the age of remakes. So if I could play Storm, that'd be everything. I was Storm for Halloween, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago. Ooh, I feel like I'd eat that up. Like, I would eat that up so bad. Another book that I've read that I would love to see adapted for the big screen is Confessions of an Alleged Greek Girl. I read one. I think I've read it like 3 or 4 times now, if I'm being completely honest. And every single time I read it, I'm like, wow, this is like literally the best thing ever. Like, I literally love it. But I would love to play Monique. I think everything about her just like screams me at 17, so I would love to be able to portray her. I've also just been really getting into Southern country like aesthetic. Like, I don't know what came over me in the last like month, but I've just been eating up that aesthetic so badly, and I would love to like challenge myself with an accent. I'm not very good with accents outside of US accents. I can do a few accents within the US pretty well. Like, obviously I grew up here and I am from Boston, so I can do like a few different accents pretty well if they're from the US. Any accent outside the US is gonna need a little bit of work. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I'm not tricking anyone. Like, when you hear those stories of actors doing whole auditions in a different accent and like casting not being able to tell that they're not American or whatever the case may be, I don't think that'll ever be me. Like, it is, or like, that's not me right now, if we're being completely honest. Like, they will be able to tell. Like, it is very obvious that I cannot do an accent outside of a US accent, but I would love to do a little Texan accent. Ooh, that'd be so fun. I do like accents and I want to get better at accents, but I feel like that would be like a soft launch into accents. I feel like an American accent or any of the American accents is a little bit easier than any of the accents outside of the US for me personally. Okay, the next one is a little bit vague. I don't have really any storyline to go off of, but dystopian main character. I feel like that's so badass, and I feel like that's a little bit like not so far away from who I am as an individual, but I've always said this to people when like talking about roles, but I really do want to play a role that is so far from who I am as a person that like it's like I want to work hard. Like, I want to work hard at a character so like that is so detached from who I am. I feel like a lot of the scenes that I've done in the past, like, I can relate so heavily to the scenes that I've like done just like by happenstance. But I want to do a role that like just seems so far removed from who I am. Like the way Zendaya played Rue and how they're completely separate in terms of who they are as people, that's the type of role that I want to do. That's kind of what I'm emulating by doing a dystopian, by wanting to do like a dystopian type of character, like dystopian main character. Because like I feel like where I sit right now, I could be all like, oh yeah, like world's ending, I'm gonna be main character and get shit done. But like if we're being real, like if you've met me, like I'm not gonna sit in here and just like do nothing. But like dystopian main character, like fighting big bad bosses and like Katniss everything everybody's shit, like I don't think that's where I sit right now, if I'm being completely honest. Katniss is better than me because I don't have a sister, let's just be clear. But if I had a sister and she was called during the Reaping, am I volunteering as tribute? I don't know about all that. So I feel like that would be fun to play something completely different from who I am as an individual, just to really work on something. Because I feel like a lot of times when I'm working on a character, that's like part of the fun of it, is like finding how you can relate to the character so that you can mesh reality and the character so that you're not, so that it doesn't feel like acting, if in a sense. But like most of the time I can find something pretty quickly that I relate to within the character that I'm all like, okay, this, I got it. Versus I want to be able to like struggle with that. I don't know. Is that weird to want to struggle to find what me and a character have in common? I don't think so. Ooh, this one I want so bad just because I miss it so dearly. Like I miss playing soccer so bad. But there have been a lot of announcements for either soccer movies or soccer TV shows where like the main cast are like soccer players and like that's what the show is based around. Oh my god, can we wait 2 seconds to let me like audition? Like damn. Like all these shows are coming out when my career just started. Like guys, give it a second. I want to be a part of this. Like please, give me a second. Let me breathe. Because I would love, 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 love to play soccer again. Even if it's just for acting. Like I would love to portray a soccer player on film, on TV, on film, whatever. Like, ooh, I miss it dearly. And that's part of the reason why I want to do it. But like also I feel like soccer players are just cool to me. And maybe I'm biased, but I think soccer players are so cool. So, ooh, another one that I get reminded of constantly is the One Tree Hill reboot. I don't know. I think they paused a bunch of stuff on that. And I feel like, again, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm getting really into Southern culture, but like I would love to be in the One Tree Hill reboot to some capacity. I don't even know who I would play. Maybe Skills' like daughter, but like who did Skills end up with at the end of One Tree Hill? I don't think it was Deb. Or Bevan. Did he end up with anyone? Hold up, I can't even remember what happened to Skills. I don't even know if he was in the last few episodes. Or even the last season. I don't even remember plot lines of Skills in the last season. It doesn't matter. Any way I can end up in that show, I would love. It's just like, One Tree Hill was such a formative show in my middle school, high school era that like, I feel like I need to. Okay, now switching from film and TV into theater and Broadway. I would love to do Hairspray. That just seems fun to me. I don't know. I've always loved Hairspray the musical. So I would just love to be able to be in that world. I love the style of, what is it, like the 50s or the 60s? Like that's tea. Like honestly, I love their frilly dresses. I love how like over the top it is. I haven't done a lot of theater in my life because when I was in college, most of my time was spent working because, girl, bills need to be paid. So I never did any of my college's productions, and then prior to that, I was an athlete in high school, so I never did any productions back in high school. Like, I took a significant break from even thinking that I wanted to be an actor because I remember when I was younger, it was definitely heavy on my mind, and then middle school, I did start theater, and then I stopped because it just seemed unrealistic, and then I came back to it. I got into college, and I did all the courses that I wanted to do for my major, and that was, like, at the end of year 2, like, finished my second year of college, and I was done with all my required courses, and I was like, what am I gonna do now? And then I picked up, like, I had done an intro to acting class, and then I was like, we could just do acting. Like, we could just be an actor. Like, what else are we gonna do? Because I was still lost. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I started college, and I still didn't by year 2. I was all like, I'm kind of just doing my major just because, like, I signed on to this when I was 18 and now I'm just like seeing it through and I finished. I'm done with my major. What do I do now? And I didn't really have any goals for like after school. Like I had some things that I was like, oh, this could be cool. This could be fun. But like nothing ever sparked my joy or interest as much as pursuing acting. Like when I started taking acting courses and theater courses at my school, everything started clicking. Like everything immediately started clicking and I actually started to enjoy my life, question mark. Like, but prior to that, I was kind of just going through the motions and being like, yeah, this is fun. And I genuinely did like learning about my major. Like, that wasn't a waste of time in my eyes. It was just like, it was more of a hobby than like a career. Like, when I was doing it, I was all like, oh, this is fun to learn about, but like, I don't see how I'm going to apply this to a job in the future. You know, like, I wasn't seeing anything outside of just learning for fun. Which is crazy to think about now because I spent like a big chunk of time thinking that like somehow it was gonna pan out for me. But yeah, no, acting, I took like, the thing I have to say about it being unrealistic and what I thought when I was like in high school and I was like, oh, this is unrealistic to pursue. And that was before the pandemic had hit. I feel like a lot of things that I've been through in my life has changed my perspective on what I want to do with my life and how much I want to put into stuff I care about. And I realized that this life, I hate to get philosophical on you guys here, but like I feel like life is pointless if you don't do everything that you love. Like I feel like if you do what you love and you're not hurting anybody else, go for it. Like life is too unpredictable and too short to do anything else. Oh my god. I feel like there's so many things in this world that you can be happy doing, and I know that I'm on the path of being the most happy that I've been in a while. So that is my why, I guess. I mean, not my why. My why is I want to portray characters that people can see themselves in. I enjoy acting quite a bit, like, if I'm being completely honest. Like, acting, creative spaces, I like writing. I like just the whole aspect of it. Like, any aspect of the creative space, especially in film and TV, I just enjoy. So, come along on this ride. But, yeah, I've never gone to do a production of Hairspray, and I would love to, in the next few years, do one. Even if it's not, like, on Broadway, I would love to just be in Hairspray. That would be so fun. The next, type of project in terms of theater that I would love to be in, I would love to play Noelle in Little Miss Perfect. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but I follow their social media accounts, and I think it's so cool. Like, that's also what I like about the arts, is that you can just create shit. But I think it's so cool and fun that it was made, like, the musical was made based on that one song that went viral in 2019 on TikTok. Ugh, just love it. But I would love to play her. That would be really fun. I really do like this song. I think it would be really fun to play Noelle in Little Miss Perfect. Another role I would love is The Notebook on stage. The soundtrack of that musical, literally love. I literally love. I can't get enough of it. I would love to play a version of Allie in The Notebook. That would just be everything. That would seem like fun. I feel like The Notebook was like a staple in my house growing up, even though I watched it when I was much older. But it was always just like in the background, and I never sat down to watch it until I was like, I don't know, maybe like 15, 16. But when I did, oh my god, did it consume my every thought, because like, I mean, it's The Notebook. What more can you say? Like, oh, it's just such a lovey-dovey story, and you guys know I love love. Love a good love story, so I would love to play any version of Allie in the musical adaptation. And now, on to one role that I feel like I see a lot of people talk about, and also that I saw a lot on April Fool's. Like, every actor was doing an April Fool's joke where they were all like, ooh, I was casted in this. And I feel like I saw a lot of black girls doing the April Fool's joke where they were casted as Tiana in the live action Princess and the Frog, which I believe they paused casting on. Which I got a lot to say about the Princess and the Frog casting, but we'll save it for a different time. But I will say that I did want that too, because obviously, like, you see these live action remakes of these classic Disney films. And personally, I'm against them. That's propaganda I'm not falling for. I don't like remakes for the sake of, why are we remaking things that already happened when we can make stuff that's new? And I know people are like, well, you guys never support new type of ideas, and I'm like, you guys don't give it a chance. Like, I really do think that trying to blame consumers for why we never put out new media is a very lazy take, when I really do think it's the industry that's making it so that people can keep on consuming old stuff. But anyways, I'm already against live action remakes for that, but I also, like, if you don't know the history of The Princess and the Frog, when it first came out, it had done terrible in theaters. I don't know what had happened. I was a child at the time. I was only a cherub. But for some reason, it didn't do as well as their other movies. And then Disney had to take a step back and rethink everything. And that's where you then get Tangled, which is the next project that Disney puts out. And they changed the animation style. They were like, clearly it was the fact that it was an animated movie, so now we have to change it. And that's where you get the era of, like, 3D, like, CGI type of animation, if that makes sense. Like the way Tangled and Frozen and Moana look, like that type of animation style. Which is interesting, because if you look at what's going on right now with the live action remakes, Princess and the Frog got paused because Snow White did poorly, but they're still making the Tangled reboot, which is the movie that came out after the Princess and the Frog. But hey, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. But I really wanted that for a while, or like I wanted to be able to audition for that, and then it dawned on me one day that although live actions are a great way to give new emerging talent like a good way to be in the spotlight and give them a leg up in like acting, because I feel like if you rarely see people do live action remakes for Disney and not do another thing right afterwards, it usually does well for their career, right? But it dawned on me one day that half of that movie, probably even more than half of that movie, Tiana's a frog. So is everybody. Like, almost everybody in the movie is an animal for, like, the duration of the movie. So, like, it turns into this, like, Lion King type of movie where we're doing mostly CGI, and it's all like, so why are we even doing the remake anyways? But it's also like, then maybe cast like a voice actor, if anything. Like, not that it wouldn't be a great role for any black actress, but I feel like, especially if they are gonna go the route of CGI, which I assume that they will because it's live action, it makes more sense to cast a voice actor versus a regular actor, because you're not gonna be on screen. And I know it's like weird to say, but like I feel like that wouldn't do well for a regular actor's career if the first 10 minutes of the movie you see them acting in front of the screen, and then the rest of the movie they're voice acting and you never see their face again. Like, it's a little disheartening that we don't have more. Like, they gave us Princess and the Frog and they were like, there, that's what you get. And it's all like, there's so many other princesses and characters that get whole full-length movies where they get to be a human, and black girls get Tiana, which she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, she's ambitious, and she doesn't need a man, but she is a frog for most of her own movie. So, anyways, but that's just a personal gripe. But those are all the roles, at least right now, that are my dream roles, that I hope to play one day, that I hope to see in the very near future. And I also will be taking you guys along with me on my acting journey and career, because why not? You're here. If you think that I would look good on anything, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think I should play, or what you would like to see me in. Because honestly, I think it's interesting to see what people see me as, like, on video. Like, what vibes do you get from me? Like, let me know in the comments. If you want to keep up to date with me, you can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on TikTok, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye!